out of the mouths of babes. Kyrus Hebert, though, ferocious player. Lines up a free safety. BC with the ball now. Lule, little hitch pass to Marco Iannuzzi. Iannuzzi takes the edge. Knocked out by Dwight Anderson.
Marco Iannuzzi got a nice opportunity to play early in the season with an injury to Sean Gore. Made the most of that opportunity. And now, even with Gore back in the lineup, everybody healthy in that receiving corps, continues to see his role in this offense grow. He gets a few more reps every week. He's part of that great young Canadian contingent along with Gore and Akeem Foster.
This game billed is a battle of two very strong defenses, but the offenses have brought their A game so far in the air. Quarterbacks have been doing all of this. Geroy Simon hauls in another. Precision passing, quick hitters. Third reception already for Geroy Simon. We're just barely begun the second quarter.
And Geroy Simon's just going to hit a quick slant here to get in front of the defender, Billy Parker. Timing throw from Lule off play action.
Again, Geroy Simon still seeking his career touchdown number 100. That zero beside that ledger, something you don't see very often for Geroy Simon. Short yardage play for Mike Riley. Plunge forward, should have it. It is almost unfathomable to think, after all of what we've seen from Geroy Simon, this is a long drought for him. Yet he continues to move up the all-time receptions list and is 2 away from tying Darren Flutie, and then 3 away from being third all-time.
Yeah, what a great career it's been for Geroy Simon. You know, we talk so much about the touchdown drought, but Geroy continues to come up with big catches when needed. Last week, perfect evidence of that. A great catch to set up the winning field goal from Paul McCallum. It's all about wins for him rather than touchdowns or personal milestones.
Look at the motion again from the Lions. Trying to hand it off to Andrew Harris. Harris crashes forward. Chip Hawks runs him out of bounds along with Kyrus Hebert, but not after Andrew Harris had accumulated another first down.
Well, it looked like Andrew Harris was going to be brought down for a loss in the BC backfield. Ventrell Jenkins came through that line, got his hands on him, and Andrew Harris just continued to accelerate, ran through the arm tackle of the Montreal defender, much bigger man. But the legs keep churning, center of gravity's low. As I said, great acceleration from this young running back.
On the sideline now, likely not for long. Lule. Now he has to scramble, and he will throw it to the sideline. And probably a good idea that Marco Iannuzzi let that go through his hands, because it might have been a loss there for the BC Lions.
Yeah, I don't think it was really Marco Iannuzzi's plan, but in terms of field position, with Dwight Anderson stalking him, this is the best outcome for a play that was doomed from the start.
Again, it's second down conversion time. Lions, the most efficient in second downs in the CFL. Almost 54%. Decibel level increases here. Lule. And an out pattern for Iannuzzi. The timing was off on that play, and this will bring out the BC kick team.
Yeah, just quarterback and receiver not quite on the same page on that one. Iannuzzi got his head around late. Throw to the inside on him. Marco Iannuzzi, deep man here, sells inside and then makes his break outside. Travis Lule threw that ball to the inside on him.
So another subtext to tonight. You talked about the last two Grey Cup champions, the quarterbacks, and of course the mentor and the apprentice in BC a couple of years ago. We saw Sean White kick one through. Now Paul McCallum. This is going to be wide though. Victor Anderson thinking about it, and probably should have gone down a lot earlier than that. McCallum misses. Had a streak of 8 in a row. It stopped.
Shop.
A week ago, Anthony Calvillo celebrated his 40th birthday in style, but under difficult conditions. With more, let's go to the sideline now and join John Lou.
Yeah, what we were alluding to, Rod, didn't become public knowledge until early this week, but 2 days prior to last Thursday's game, Anthony Calvillo lost his stepdad, Demetrio Baca, to a heart attack. During the game, only head coach Mark Trestman and offensive coordinator Marcus Brady knew about Calvillo's loss. He played through it with a heavy heart. His teammates didn't find out until after the game or even last weekend when Calvillo flew home to California to attend the funeral. But knowing what Calvillo went through in 2007 with his wife's cancer scare, 2 seasons ago, he had a thyroid cancer scare. Going through adversity and performing under difficult circumstances one more time, the legend keeps growing for the future Hall of Fame quarterback in the eyes of the public and in his teammates.
Yeah, right you are, John Lou. A guy who has become one of the greatest quarterbacks in pro football history, has had to overcome a lot. It has not come without some sacrifice.
Anthony Calvillo just seems to get stronger from every bit of adversity he's faced.
Slings it in. It's picked off by Corey Banks. Well, Corey Banks may have called his shot. He had a bone to pick with you earlier tonight, didn't he?
Well, Corey Banks wanted it known that he is the CFL's active leader in career interceptions.
I liked your line, though. What did you say to him?
Well, how many this year? Corey says none. Well, Corey can now say 1. He's in the middle of your screen, and he benefits from a deflected ball here from his short side halfback spot. Juggled ball from S.J. Green. Corey Banks, always the opportunist, comes up with a big play in the Lions secondary.
He is the active leader in interceptions. Corey Banks has number 1 for 2012. Lions get the ball back after that field goal miss. 2-point game. Lule can run if he wants to, but decides to throw it out to Akeem Foster, who will fumble the football, and the Alouettes get it back. Now the question might be, did Akeem Foster have complete control of that football?
Yeah, well, that's what the BC Lions will be looking at, absolutely. Foster, the wide man, Travis Lule is going to step up and throw it out to his receiver. Not surprisingly going to be a close call, but it looks like Foster catches it up high, pulls it down, and has time to take almost 2 full steps. To see if he pulls it, as he pulls it down, if he has full control of that ball. Catches it cleanly, brings it down cleanly.
BC is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch followed by a fumble. It will be reviewed.
So will this be a turnover right back to the Montreal Alouettes, or will it be an incomplete pass?
There you see the clean catch, brings it down. As he goes to tuck it at his side, that's where it gets punched out. He's into his 2nd step by that point, which leads me to believe that the ruling on the field of a fumble is going to stand. He's landed, he's got 2 feet down, changed direction. Now the question will be how quickly, as we look at it in slow motion.
Here comes Al Bradbury with the verdict from CFL Command.
After review, the ruling is being overturned. The receiver did not have the ball long enough. It will become 2nd down and 10 from the 38 BC's ball.
The reaction of both coaches, priceless there. Mike Benavides and his elation, and the disappointment from Mark Trestman.
Again, it's a bang-bang play in terms of timing. Catches it in the air, comes down, is into a second full step.
Boy,
the ball wasn't being juggled at all.
Down it goes, so the Alouettes thought they had the ball back. The Lions have new life on this drive. 8.5 to go before halftime. Ouellet looks right. It's tipped and almost picked off. Arlan Bruce got a hand on it. Tipped at the line of scrimmage.
One of the things Travis Lulay is going to see anytime he's facing a Jeff Reinbold defense, different looks. Here you see John Bowman, the DN, lines up over the nose. He's eventually going to loop out to his normal spot as Shea Emery, the middle linebacker, does the loop back in to Phil. Try to create a little bit of confusion in terms of that blocking scheme in the initial look that they give.
So a long field goal here for Paul McCallum. 46-yarder. Already missed earlier. This kick is up and it is down Main Street. BC Lions have their first lead of the night.
Well, I think any management hopeful in the Canadian Football League would like to be involved in this conversation. Two of the greats, Alouettes GM Jim Popp, Lions GM Wally Buono, taking a little stroll together pregame. Wally always does his laps. And of course, his Montreal counterpart, Jim Popp, joined him for the walk tonight.
Some trade talk going on there? Two very successful bosses, and of course, Wally Buono. As Victor Anderson brings it up near the 45-yard line. Wally Buono, first year off the sideline. And look at all the Grey Cup bling from Buono and Popp.
Yeah, since 1970, when we were really able to keep track of who exactly had the role of general manager, Wally Buono, second all-time with 5 Grey Cup wins, Jim Popp with 4.
9 Grey Cup wins between those two gentlemen over the last 20 years. Those two franchises, BC and Calgary, of course, for Wally Buono, and Jim Popp here in Montreal. Anthony Calvillo had it batted away. So the defense is starting to stir it up here now. So the offenses had their way in that first quarter.
Well, this is a good reaction from big Eric Taylor on the play. The idea of the screen passes, you're going to let these defensive linemen rush, let them get upfield, make them think they beat you badly. Eric Taylor kind of knows he is sucked in, but he has the presence of mind to know what's coming and reacts well to it. There's no sense quitting, trying to drop back into coverage at that point. He just keeps going and gets his hands up.
Eskimo and Argonaut, now BC Lion, Eric Taylor. Oh, nice catch. Brian Bratton laying out sideways, 15-yard pickup.
Oh, Brian Bratton continues to step up in this injury-depleted Alouette receiving corps. Beautiful route, twisting it around Ryan Phillips. Great concentration, body control on the catch.
He has always been the guy flying under the radar in the Montreal Alouette offense, hasn't he, through the years?
Yeah, whenever called upon, Brian Bratton has been there to come up with big plays just like that.
Calvillo now going sideline, has his man, and Patrick Lavoie can't run under it. For Vanier Cup champion, Laval Rouge Or, fullback receiver, Patrick Lavoie, first year with the Alouettes, takes over that number 81 that was worn by a Montreal Alouette superstar for so many years.
Kerry Watkins, former star receiver. I know Kerry Watkins watching at home in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Hello, Kerry Watkins. What a great player he was in his time in Montreal. Second and 10. Calvillo now flushed. There he goes. Tucks it and takes it. And bowls over the 40-yard line. Will be very close. Might be about a half-yard shy of a first down. This is what Calvillo can do. Very underrated when it comes to taking off with the football. Will only do it when he has to, and was one of the reasons why Montreal beat Hamilton last week.
Yeah, Anthony Calvillo doesn't do it often, but when he does take off, averages over 8 yards a carry. And what it is for Calvillo is knowing when to go, when to take off. Here he sees he's got a lane in front of him to go. No sense looking downfield at this point. A little glance at Adam Bighill, and he knows he's got to commit, continue upfield. Just the awareness that Calvillo has here in his 19th CFL season.
Well, that mark, that spot, a lot longer than it first looked. Long, long yard. So Anthony Calvillo is going to the sideline, and they'll bring in the big team here, the jumbo team, for the third down play. So backup Adrian McPherson comes in. But this is a very long yard here, and against the best defense in the CFL in so many categories. Third down. The pitch. Whitaker, sideline. Brandon Whitaker with that head start in the backfield. Sometimes a very risky maneuver. A pitch on third down like that, the Owls are able to spring it.
Well, this is a gutsy play call for Marcus Brady over on the sideline. One of the keys, blocked by the fullback, Darren Diedrich, on Anton McKenzie, number 42, the linebacker. Diedrich, number 30 at fullback, meets McKenzie at the line of scrimmage, pins him on the inside. Brandon Whitaker's going to bounce it out for the big gain. Terrific job by Darren Diedrich.
Calvillo comes back out, inching closer to the red zone. Now going end zone. Once again was trying to find Brandon Whitaker, but was sandwiched in double coverage near the goal line. Again, Anthony Calvillo, Mr. 300, has rewritten the CFL record books the last couple of seasons.
A creative play call here from the Alouettes. They put their two running backs, Lavoie and Whitaker, out wide. That leaves the guy in the backfield picking up the blitz as extra offensive lineman, backup guard Ryan Bombin. He's there to help out. Obviously very effective in that role as he steps up to pick up a twist.
Now Whitaker from the backfield gets one block and another. Green light. End zone. Touchdown. Brandon Whitaker gets a lot of help from his friends on this play.
Well, he sure does. Well-blocked play. It starts with the big fellas up front. This Montreal Alouettes offensive line. It's all about winning battles in the trenches. One of the best in the business for many years, number 57, Scott Flory. His role here, he's got to get it to the outside shoulder of that linebacker, Adam Bighill. Does it perfectly, seals Bighill to the inside. That's the key block that creates that lane for Whitaker to get it upfield. As it gets close to the goal line, number 2 does the rest.
They call him two-way. So versatile. He's already got a rushing touchdown here tonight. Brandon Whitaker actually 2 passing touchdowns here tonight. So that's 7 now on the season. They're going to review this.
As they would any scoring play.
Looked like the ball, only the nose of the football has to be over that goal line. The plane of the goal line extended vertically. And Brandon Whitaker carries about 4 BC Lions and the football over the goal line. So 2 touchdowns for Whitaker tonight, unless this is overturned. But
yeah, keep an eye on the right knee. excuse me, left knee of
After review,
Whitaker.
it is confirmed touchdown.
It is a touchdown. So back in front go the Alouettes. What a difference this is as opposed to last year. Late in the season, the Alouettes were pasted by the BC Lions 43-1. And got the Lions ready for the playoffs, eventually a Grey Cup win. And the Alouettes, of course, stumbled in the postseason. This one goes back and forth tonight again. 17-11 now.
When you've been as successful as the Montreal Alouettes have been throughout the tenure of Mark Trestman, you know that other teams are going to start setting their sights on you. Their game plans, their teams, the way they build their rosters and game plans are all going to be about how do you become the champs? How do you beat these guys? This team has had a target on its back for most of the last 4 years. And here in 2012, with most people thinking that maybe the Montreal Alouettes' reign in the East Division was coming to an end, this group of players and this coaching staff have stepped up in a big way. So they're not quite ready to relinquish that yet.
Well, there was an air of vulnerability last year. They finished 10-8 and in second place in the CFL East. They're on top right now this season and had a number of changes in the offseason. Hasn't changed that offensive line that protects Anthony Calvillo. And of course, the ageless wonder continues to do it. Tim Brown now. Ball's over the 30-yard line. 4.5 to go.